The birthday party was supposed to be simple. Emma was turning 9, and we'd invited family to our backyard for cake, games and swimming. 20 kids from school plus grandparents, aunts, uncles and cousins. My husband, David, had spent the morning setting up the inflatable water slide while I decorated and prepared food. Emma has type 1 diabetes. She was diagnosed at age 4 and managing it has become second nature to our family. She wears a continuous glucose monitor, carries her insulin pump, and checks her levels before eating. It's not dramatic, it's just life. At 2 o'clock before the cake cutting, Emma pulled out her monitor to check her blood sugar. Standard procedure before consuming carbohydrates. She sat at the picnic table, pressed the button and waited for the reading. My sister, Lindsay, walked over with her wine glass. Still doing all that medical theater, huh? I looked up from lighting the candles. Excuse me. All the beeping devices, the constant checking. It's a bit much for a kid's party, don't you think? Emma's face went red. She was 9 years old and acutely aware when adults discussed her condition as if she wasn't there. She's checking her blood sugar before eating cake, I said evenly. It's necessary. Is it though? Lindsay took a sip of wine. Or is it attention-seeking? My friend's daughter supposedly had diabetes too, and the doctor said she was fine after they stopped enabling the behavior. I felt my chest tighten. Lindsay, Emma has type 1 diabetes. It's an autoimmune disease. She'll have it for life. That's what they tell you. Lindsay shrugged. But I read an article about how these diagnoses are overblown. Kids are resilient. Maybe if you stopped making such a big deal about it. Stop talking. David appeared beside me, his voice low and dangerous. Stop talking right now. Lindsay blinked. I'm just saying what everyone's thinking. No, you're saying something ignorant and cruel about our daughter's life-threatening medical condition at her birthday party. My mother rushed over. What's going on? Lindsay was just explaining her theories about Emma's diabetes, David said, each word clipped. Mom looked at Lindsay, then at me. I'm sure she didn't mean anything by it. She's just concerned about Emma, that's all. Concerned. I repeated. She called my daughter's medical management attention-seeking. Well, you do make quite a production of it sometimes, Mom said carefully. All the devices and monitoring. It's a lot for people to watch. Emma's eyes filled with tears. She stood up and ran into the house. David's jaw clenched. He turned to the dessert table, picked up the beautiful 3-tier birthday cake I'd ordered from the bakery, and walked directly to Lindsay. This is your slice, he said. Then he turned and carried the entire cake toward the front of the house. What are you doing? Lindsay demanded. Leaving. And you're leaving too, David called back over his shoulder. Mom, you're also leaving. David, don't be ridiculous, Mom said. We're family. Family doesn't tell a 9-year-old that her life-saving medical treatment is attention-seeking. He disappeared around the side of the house with the cake. I looked at my mother and sister. You need to go. We're not leaving Emma's birthday party, Lindsay said. This is absurd. You just told my daughter that her insulin management is fake. At her birthday party. In front of her friends. My voice was shaking now. Yes, you're leaving. I was trying to help. By suggesting we stop managing her diabetes. She could die, Lindsay. Do you understand that? Without insulin she could go into diabetic ketoacidosis and die. You're being dramatic, Mom said. Lindsay was just expressing concern that maybe the doctors are being overly cautious. Get out of my house. David had returned. Both of you. Now. This is unbelievable, Lindsay said, grabbing her purse. We drive all the way here, bring gifts, and this is how you treat us? You're lucky I'm only asking you to leave, David said. Now go. Mom and Lindsay left, Lindsay complaining loudly the entire way to the car. I watched them drive away, then went inside to find Emma. She was in her room lying on her bed. I sat beside her. I'm sorry, sweetie. Why does Aunt Lindsay hate me? She doesn't hate you. She's just ignorant about your condition. Grandma thinks I'm faking too. No, baby. Grandma just doesn't understand how serious it is. But I knew that wasn't quite true. I'd explained Emma's condition hundreds of times. My family just didn't want to believe it was as serious as it was. They wanted to think positive thoughts and believe everything would magically improve if we just stopped dwelling on it. We rejoined the party 20 minutes later. Emma put on a brave face for her friends. David bought a replacement cake from the grocery store. The kids never knew anything was wrong. That night, after Emma was asleep, David and I sat in the kitchen. "Your sister is toxic," he said. "I know. And your mother enables her." "I know that too." He looked at me. "So what are you going to do about it?" I thought about the beach house, the property I'd inherited from my grandmother 5 years ago. The beautiful 4-bedroom house in Wilmington that my family used constantly. Mom went there twice a month. Lindsay took her family there every school vacation. My brother used it for his anniversary trips. They all assumed it was family property, some kind of shared inheritance. I'd never corrected them. I just let them use the house freely, gave them the access codes, paid the property management fees, and covered the utilities and maintenance. None of them knew the house was solely in my name. That grandma had left it specifically to me in her will, with explicit instructions that I should use it to take care of myself and my immediate family. "I'm going to make a phone call tomorrow," I said. David raised his eyebrows. "To Carolina Coast Property Management." Understanding dawned on his face. The beach house. The beach house. The next morning I called the property management company. "This is Sarah Mitchell. I need to change all access codes for the Wilmington property immediately." "Of course, Mrs. Mitchell. Any particular reason?" "I'm restricting access to immediate family only. Please remove all secondary users from the system." "That would be, let me see, your mother, Patricia, your sister, Lindsay, and your brother, Mark?" "That's correct. Remove all 3. Done. New codes will be active within the hour." "Should I notify them of the change?" "No need. I'll handle communications." "Very good. Will you still want the monthly maintenance and utility billing sent to your account?" "Yes. Everything stays the same on the financial side." I hung up and felt strangely calm. Lindsay called at noon. "Hey, we're heading to the beach house this weekend for fall break. Can you send me the new Wi-Fi password? It's not working." "You won't be going to the beach house this weekend." Silence. "What?" "I've changed the access codes. The property is no longer available to you." "Very funny. Seriously, what's the Wi-Fi password?" "I'm not joking, Lindsay. After yesterday, I've decided you won't have access to the beach house anymore." "You can't do that. It's family property." "Actually, I can because it's my property. Grandma left it to me. Not to the family. To me specifically." More silence. "Then, what are you talking about?" "That's the family beach house." "No, it's my beach house. It has been for 5 years. I've just been letting everyone use it." "But we have plans. We've already bought groceries. The kids are counting on it." "You should have thought about that before you told my daughter that her life-threatening medical condition is attention-seeking." "I didn't say that. You said her diabetes management was medical theater and attention-seeking. At her birthday party." "I was just trying to suggest that maybe you're being overprotective." "Goodbye, Lindsay." I hung up. Mom called 5 minutes later. "Sarah, Lindsay is very upset. She says you're not letting them use the beach house." "That's correct." "Why on earth not?" "Because Lindsay told Emma her insulin management is fake and you defended her." "I did not defend her. I just said she was concerned." "You said I make a production of Emma's medical care. At her birthday party. In front of her." "Well, you do sometimes seem to." "Mom, Emma has type 1 diabetes. She will die without insulin. Managing her blood sugar isn't optional. It's not negotiable. It's not up for family debate." "I understand that, but..." "Do you?" "Because yesterday you suggested that her medical management is excessive." "I just think maybe the doctors are being overly cautious. When I was young..." "When you were young, children with type 1 diabetes often died before adulthood because they didn't have continuous glucose monitors or insulin pumps. Modern management keeps her alive." Mom was quiet for a moment. "So you're punishing us by taking away the beach house?" "I'm not punishing you. I'm setting boundaries. The beach house is mine. Grandma left it to me. I've been generous in sharing it, but that generosity has limits. Your grandmother would be ashamed of you." That hit hard. But I kept my voice steady. "Grandma left the house specifically to me with instructions to take care of my immediate family. I'm following her wishes." "For how long?" "A week. A month." I don't know, Mom. Until I feel confident that my family respects my daughter's medical needs. This is ridiculous. We've had Thanksgiving at the beach house planned for months. Then you'll need to make other arrangements. I hung up. Over the next week, the calls and texts escalated. Lindsay sent paragraphs about how I was ruining her children's fall break. Mark called to complain that he'd already paid for a romantic dinner reservation in Wilmington and couldn't get his deposit back. Mom sent daily messages about how I was tearing the family apart over a misunderstanding. None of them apologized to Emma. 2 weeks later, Lindsay showed up at my house. David answered the door. I need to talk to Sarah. Is it to apologize to Emma? Yes. Can I come in? David let her in. I was in the kitchen making dinner. Lindsay sat at the counter. She looked tired. I'm sorry. For what specifically? For what I said at Emma's party. About her diabetes management. And I shouldn't have called it attention-seeking. Why did you? She was quiet for a long moment. Because I don't understand it. It scares me. All the devices and monitoring and talk about blood sugar and ketones. It's overwhelming. And I guess I wanted it to not be as serious as it is. I put down the knife I was using to chop vegetables. Lindsay, it is that serious. Emma could die if we don't manage her condition. That's not an exaggeration. That's a medical fact. I know. I knew, but I didn't want to know. Tears ran down her face. When you explained the diagnosis 5 years ago, I couldn't process it. I kept thinking that if we all just acted normal, it would somehow not be real. That's not how autoimmune diseases work. I know that now. I've spent the past 2 weeks actually researching type 1 diabetes. Reading about it, understanding what you deal with every single day. She wiped her eyes. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for what I said, and I'm sorry it took losing beach house access to make me take this seriously. That's remarkably honest. Can I talk to Emma? I called Emma downstairs. She appeared cautiously. Emma, I owe you an apology, Lindsay said. What I said at your birthday party was wrong and hurtful and ignorant. Your diabetes is real and managing it isn't attention-seeking. Keeping you alive. And I'm so sorry I made you feel bad about something you can't control. Emma looked at me, then back at Lindsay. Okay. I'd like to learn more about your diabetes if you're willing to tell me. I want to understand. Emma's face brightened slightly. Really? Really? They talked for 20 minutes. Emma showed Lindsay her continuous glucose monitor, explained how her insulin pump worked, and demonstrated how she calculated carbohydrates. Lindsay listened with genuine interest and asked thoughtful questions. After Lindsay left, Emma came to me. Is Aunt Lindsay allowed at the beach house now? Do you want her to be? Emma thought about it. Yeah. She said sorry for real. I called Lindsay that evening. The access codes will be reactivated tomorrow. Thank you. And Sarah? I really am sorry, not just about the beach house. About everything. Mom took longer. She called 3 weeks later. Lindsay told me what she said to Emma. About actually learning about her condition. Okay. I should have done that years ago instead of minimizing it. Yes, you should have. I'm sorry. To you and to Emma. Tell Emma yourself. Mom came over the next day. She brought Emma a book about famous people with type 1 diabetes and spent an hour asking Emma questions about her management routine. It wasn't perfect, but it was a start. That Thanksgiving we all went to the beach house together. Mom helped Emma check her blood sugar before the big meal. Lindsay had researched diabetic-friendly recipes and made a special stuffing with precise carb counts labeled. As I watched Emma laugh with her cousins on the beach, David put his arm around me. You did the right thing, he said. I just protected our daughter. By setting boundaries. By demanding respect. That took courage. I leaned into him. The beach house was just leverage. What mattered was them understanding that Emma's health isn't negotiable. And they do now. Because you made them. Later that evening, as the sun set over the ocean, Emma climbed into my lap on the deck. This is the best Thanksgiving, she said. Why is that? Because nobody's being weird about my diabetes. They're just being normal. I kissed the top of her head. That's how it should always be. She snuggled closer. I'm glad we have the beach house, Mom. Me too, sweetie. Me too. And I was, not because of the property itself, but because it had given me the tool I needed to protect my daughter and teach my family what should have been obvious from the start. Emma's life was worth more than their comfort. Her medical needs weren't up for debate. And respect for her condition wasn't optional. It was the price of admission to our lives.